Who wants to be a millionaire? Imagine that you're participating in the TV show. You are 15 questions away from $1 million, from that house at the beach, from that car at the garage, from everything you've ever wanted. Do you think you would be able to make it? Probably not, otherwise you would already be there. At first, it doesn't seem that difficult, just 15 questions, 4 possible answers and only 1 correct. You and I have probably done more complicated tests in school. But it's almost impossible. More than 20 years of it and only 12 winners show how difficult it is to finish, even though the participants are far from fools. But what would you think if I told you that you could also win? You could go home with $1 million, and without many troubles, without having to spend years studying and preparing. You could easily win with one simple condition: that you could use your phone. That's cheating, that's boring, that doesn't count. Yes, but it would work. Now think about it. In that situation, your phone, or the internet in your phone, would be the difference between $1 million and nothing. But you always have your phone, always with you, always in your pocket, on your hand. What do you use it for? Did you already win the $1 million prize? The internet has all the answers. We just need to ask the questions. The internet. It connects more than 5 billion people on the planet. It is the reason you are watching this video right now, and it would cause a global disaster if it ceased to exist. The food you eat, the clothes you wear, all the content you consume would not exist without it, or they would be very different. It has affected all human processes and continues to do so as more and more people start to realize how useful it is when you use it in your favor. It has become one of the most important features in our lives, the place where we look for answers, where we look for people, for products and services, and where we can find anything we want. But it can also be the cause of great pain, of temptation. Many people who trusted someone who should not, many who have been attacked through it, or someone harassed by social media bullies. Some probably think we would be better without it. They think it is the cause of many addictions, that allows us to have a lot of stimuli that we shouldn't have. It creates new necessities and separates us from our natural habitat and from our natural behaviors. It may cause some people to become excessively dependent on it, making it impossible for them to enjoy life if it's not through a screen, or that makes them slaves of social media, always looking for attention from people you don't even know and that should not be important to you. Dopamine, lust, greed, envy, laziness. But also knowledge, friendship, love, joy. For some people, the internet has been a way of escaping from their origins, a new way to be able to see the entire world, to learn anything you've ever wanted. We are no longer confined to the place we were born, to the values of our family. You can explore the entire world without having to leave your bedroom. Would you be in the position you are today without the internet? How many people have you discovered through it? How many have you met? How many things would you know? You have more knowledge on the palm of your hand than the entire world 100 years ago. You have 1,000 great libraries of Alexandria in your pocket. As any other great invention in history, it has changed the way we live, for better or for worse, but it has changed and it will continue to change our lives as long as we exist. It has allowed 2/3 of the people on the planet to be connected, to work together even if you are in opposite places in the world. It allows a guy in Canada to sell Argentinian avocados to a Japanese woman without the Canadian guy ever leaving his basement. No matter what you think about it, it is one of the greatest inventions of all time, and it was not the product of a single person, but a collective and independent effort from millions of people that in the past decades have built the best tool that humanity has ever seen. It has been so big of a change that we cannot even measure it. How many physical letters have we avoided? How much information has traveled through it? How many more things do we have now? But after all of this, was it good? Was it worth it? Are we happier? As all other things in life, they are neither good nor bad, they simply are. Good and bad are something inherent to the human mind, two concepts invented by us in order to categorize our actions, but it is not something that can be applied to a thing. The internet is just a tool, and the good use or bad use it depends on us, on you and me. At the end, The internet has become a basic necessity, like water or electricity. It does not mean that we cannot live without it. We have done it for a long time. But it means that we need it in the current world, and that despite all the bad things that happen there, it is beyond doubt that it improves the capabilities of all people, and that we should aspire to have as much people as possible connected to it. It is the great equalizer. It provides all human beings with the same amount of information. You can learn anything you want for free, and every minute new knowledge is added. So much information that you would not be able to learn even if you lived for 1,000 years. Nowadays, everything is in there, like a big treasure that contains all the answers. Like it or not, it is clear that makes you more competent, more effective, and that in the same way that affects you, it affects all others. You never know. Maybe someday you met the love of your life on the internet, or you find the perfect job, the perfect place to live. The internet is not only the connection between people, it is all the ecosystem that has been built around it. It is YouTube and the endless amount of videos that are published here. It is all the peer-reviewed papers you can read. It's all books in history. What started as a simple way to communicate between computers has become the major tool that we use for everything, and all of this has happened in the past 40 years. What can become in the next 40? As more and more people go there to find answers, even to find questions, to offer products or just to connect with strangers, we are building the collective mind of humanity. The place where all knowledge is stored and shared, where all discussions are made, where everything is announced. And we are still only using 65.4% of it. As there are still 3 billion people without it, 3 billion people who could add knowledge, who could have a new idea, who could solve existing problems. These people will eventually emerge into the internet. They will start interacting, reading, writing, and without even noticing, our capabilities will keep growing as more and more individuals are added to this collective mind. Some initiatives, like Starlink and Capier, are essential to provide this basic necessity to everyone, because we might see it only as a connection, but in fact, it is a door to everything you want, to all information. There is no greater gift that one person could give to another. But with great power comes great responsibility. You and I are probably wasting more time on the internet than the time we are taking full advantage of it. How much time do you spend scrolling on Instagram versus the time you'll spend learning new things? How much money have you generated with the internet versus the money you have spent on it? We have the greatest invention ever created at our disposal. But how can we get more of it? How can we squeeze even more of this magnificent tool? We could start by being aware of the power that we have in our hands, by finding answers every time we have some questions, by not letting ignorance win. 50 years ago, you may need a lot of effort to answer something, like going to the library and looking into a book for hours. But not now. Now, you can satiate your curiosity with 20 seconds of Google search, or with a 10 minutes amusing video on YouTube. Let's start scrolling less on TikTok and try to learn something new each day. We have the time. We waste countless hours online without purpose. Let's start spending some minutes with intention, and I promise you it will make you feel better. Our brains were not designed for this. If we don't control our impulses, we will become slaves of them. Instead of using the greatest tool ever created to help ourselves and to make life easier and more interesting, we will become addicts that are never happy, no matter how hard you try. You probably already know about dopamine, about how it affects our emotions, our well-being, and our addictions. I cannot explain it in detail in 1 minute, let's leave this for another video, but learning how to use it in your favor is one of the best things anyone can do. It is not easy, it is probably one of the most difficult things to master, but the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and that step could perfectly be to swap 1 minute of Instagram each day for 1 minute of reading about any topic you want to learn more. Not only do we need to add more people to the internet, but we also need to use it wisely and consciously. There is no harm in wasting some time now and then, as long as you decide how much and not the other way around. But you have no idea of how much better and more capable you can become with just a bit of effort, just by doing a little more each day. And for the first time in history, you, me, and everyone have the information available. You can take action, do it yourself. Every answer to every question you've ever had is within your reach. It is in your hands, literally, anything you want. that habit you want to lose, that new one you want to have, you have them right in front of you. You just need to be aware of it and start acting accordingly. Who wants to be a millionaire? Take care and learn more.